So I sat through, I think it was like nearly an hour or an hour and 10 minutes or something of this conversation between these two. Um, they must have spent about 20 minutes talking about pharmaceutical companies, another 20 minutes talking about how great it is that, you know, well, Trump mentioned how the Irish government basically lulled companies over to Ireland with the cheaper tax and all this stuff. He mentioned it, so he did mention it. I'll give him that. But that's all I'll give him because all this was like two buddies talking. That's exactly what it was. And this Mr. Martin here, this guy who says Ireland shouldn't be thinking backwards in the way of sovereignty, but will fight tooth and claw for Ukraine's sovereignty, didn't mention any of the criminal activity that's happening in Ireland. Now you might say to yourself, well, of course he's not going to talk about that. It makes Ireland look bad. So that's like a mass, like think of that now, what I just said to you there, right? There are people that are listening to this video calling me a fucking idiot because Mr. Martin didn't talk about the spike in crime by all these foreign lads. But in their head, it's because of course he's not going to do that. It makes us look like shit storers or whatever, things like this. Wait, hang on. Is air government officials' involvement in Palestine, Israel, is that not shit storing? No. See, they pick and choose when they want to shit store or what they consider shit storing. They pick and choose it only to suit their narrative. That's what they'll run with. But not once did he mention that. In the whole, he didn't mention anything about it. They just talked about pharmaceuticals, which says to me they spent so much talking about it. I have to look at other people talking with Mr. Trump because if he spends the same amount of time talking about pharmaceutical companies as he did with me, Mr. Martin, then I'm sure that they're going to push something else now because you see they're keeping the focus on this is the importance of pharmaceutical companies. They're keeping the focus on that, and then they're probably going to launch something else again, like an old whooping cough 2.0 type of thing. But yeah, not one mention of criminal activity by foreigners on our soil. You would think, like, if you were to see this from an NPC point of view, you could probably say, well, look, he's in the best place there. Like, ask Mr. Trump for some support, ask Mr. Musk for some, I don't know, surveillance so he could probably help. But none of it. Nothing. All about pharmaceuticals and how great it is that Ireland, or it's not the way he structured it. Trump structured it like the way he kind of looked at Martin and said, it's kind of a great thing. He says, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you for it. It's kind of a great thing that you's lulled all the American companies over with the hopes of, meaning that they have to pay less tax than most places. That's why they got them. That's why they got all the companies in there. Was a promise of paying less tax, particularly pharmaceutical companies. So what's that tell you? Do you know? Now they're keeping the focus on that. Watch this space. It'll probably be soon enough as well, because remember it was just before Paddy's Day when Varadkar was there, remember? And that's when they launched the Great Whooping Cough 1.0. So with these talks here, just before Paddy's Day again, they're talking about what I think is subliminal in the sense of there's going to be, or they're going to launch another Whooping Cough 2.0 or something similar to it. They probably can't go again with this word is a trigger word for YouTube, so I have to be careful with it. But it sounds like virus, but with a V. That probably won't get. It's probably not smart enough to get around it, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, the whole time, absolute joke. I was like trying to keep up with this on Twitter, and he hadn't arrived at the house yet. I think he was still at JD Vance's, which the Irish media called JD Vance the president. You know, these people are just these people that I'm talking about, the media, the governments, like politicians, all that. They're just so used to getting away with everything they get away with that they could just be so blatant, you know, just blatant lies everywhere. But anyway, yeah, I would suggest look at it, but skip the first 20 minutes, yeah, because all they do is talk about pharmaceutical companies. That's it, and Martin kind of cringes when Trump's asked about transgenderism, and he started attacking. He didn't go all out and start shouting, ranting and raving around him, but he didn't see it as a positive. Anyway, put it that way. He didn't see it as a positive, and he cringes. So I'd suggest going and watching that. But I obviously can't. It's starting to clamp down on using news. I know this is Fox. Fox are usually alright if I cop them, but there are a few media outlets that if you cut their videos, they just get taken down. They only want you to hear what they're saying. They don't want you to hear what people's opinions are about such incidences like this, such meetings. So yeah, there you go.